Commander Zethkar of the Hegemony Fleet gazed through the viewport of his flagship at the blue marble suspended in the void. Earth, a primitive world whose inhabitants had barely mastered interplanetary travel. The conquest should have been trivial. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "the humans have responded to our declaration of war." Zethkar's mandibles clicked in amusement. 3 cycles ago, the Hegemony had sent their standard ultimatum: surrender all resources and submit to vassal status or face annihilation. Every species had eventually capitulated. The Veltari, after losing their homeworld's moon, the Korthak, after a single orbital bombardment demonstration. Humans would be no different. What manner of military response have they mustered? Zethkar asked, expecting reports of their pathetic fleet positioning for a futile last stand. The tactical officer's expression was puzzled. "Sir, they sent us a data package, and they've begun broadcasting on all frequencies." "A surrender document?" "No, sir. It appears to be entertainment media and historical records." Zethkar's confidence wavered slightly. "Display their response." The main screen flickered to life, showing a human male with piercing eyes speaking directly into the camera. "Greetings, Hegemony Fleet. You have declared war upon Earth. Before you proceed, we thought you might want to understand what war means to humanity." The transmission cut to footage that made Zethkar's blood chill. Humans in primitive armor, charging across fields while explosive shells rained around them. Massive metal beasts crawling over trenches filled with the dead. Cities reduced to rubble while civilians continued fighting from the ruins. "This is what you call the Great War," the human narrator continued. "We fought it for 4 years, 20 million dead. We called it the war to end all wars. We were wrong." More images flashed across the screen. Humans dropping fire from the sky, turning entire cities into infernos. Mushroom clouds blooming over landscapes, soldiers fighting in frozen wastelands, steaming jungles across every conceivable terrain. This was our Second World War. 70 million casualties. We developed weapons that could crack atoms and destroy cities in seconds. But we were just getting started. Zethkar watched in growing horror as the presentation continued. Humans had fought continuously for their entire recorded history. Brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, empire against empire. They had weaponized disease, turned weather into a weapon, fought wars that lasted decades over ideological differences. "You see," the human explained, "war isn't something we do. War is what we are. We've been perfecting the art of destruction for 10,000 years. We've killed more humans than you have cells in your body, and now you want to make war on us?" The tactical officer's voice shook. "Sir, our xenobiologists are analyzing their military doctrine. According to their records, they've never stopped fighting. Even during peacetime, they simulate wars for entertainment. They have warriors who fight for sport, philosophers who debate the ethics of warfare, children who play with miniature weapons." Zethkar stared at the screen as it showed human children playing with toy soldiers, reenacting battles with disturbing accuracy and enthusiasm. "We have something called the Geneva Convention," the human continued. "These are rules we created to limit our own brutality, because without them we were too effective at killing each other. We had to regulate our wars to ensure our species' survival. Think about that. We had to create laws to prevent ourselves from becoming extinct through warfare." The presentation shifted to technical specifications. Human weapons designed not just to kill, but to cause maximum psychological impact. Strategies that turned enemies' strengths against them. Military doctrines based on centuries of trial and error in the crucible of genuine combat. Your hegemony has conquered 47 species, the human said. Impressive. We've conquered ourselves 4,700 times. We've fought wars over resources, ideology, religion, territory, and sometimes just because we were bored. We've turned war into science, art, and literature. Zethkar's mandibles clicked nervously. Status report on the human fleet? Sir, they're not deploying in standard formation. They're scattered. Ships hidden throughout their system, using asteroids as cover. Some vessels are powering down, going dark. Others are accelerating toward us, but their trajectory is erratic. Erratic? They're not following any tactical doctrine we recognize. It's like they're improvising. The human transmission continued. You've mastered the conquest of peaceful species. Congratulations. But we're not peaceful. We're the descendants of persistence, hunters who chased prey across continents until it died of exhaustion. We're the children of survivors who endured ice ages, plagues, and countless catastrophes. We've never known a generation without war. Suddenly, alarms began blaring throughout the Hegemony flagship. Sir, multiple impacts on our hull, projectiles coming from everywhere. Zethkar spun toward the tactical display. Tiny human vessels, barely larger than escape pods, were darting between his ships like insects, firing kinetic projectiles before disappearing into the asteroid field. They weren't engaging in honorable ship-to-ship combat. They were harassing, probing, testing his defenses. They're using our own doctrine against us, the tactical officer gasped. Divide and conquer, but they're dividing us while conquering our weak points. Where is their main fleet? Sir, I don't think they have one. They're fighting as individuals in small groups. Every ship is acting independently, but somehow they're coordinated. The human transmission reached its conclusion. You wanted to make war on humanity. Congratulations! You've just declared war on a species that has spent its entire existence perfecting the art of killing. We don't have rules of engagement. We have suggestions. We don't have military honor. We have victory at any cost. We don't fight wars to prove our superiority. We fight them to survive. The screen went dark for a moment, then showed the human's face one final time. Welcome to Earth, Commander Zethkar. Enjoy your stay. Most species who come here to make war don't leave. Zethkar's blood froze. The human had known his name, as chaos erupted around him. Reports of boarding parties materializing throughout his fleet, of human viruses infiltrating their computer systems, of psychological warfare broadcasts driving his crew to panic. Commander, Zethkar realized the fundamental error in the Hegemony's logic. They had declared war on humanity expecting a battle. Instead, they had awakened something far more terrifying, a species that didn't just fight wars, but lived them, breathed them, and had spent millennia turning warfare into an art form. The last thing Zethkar heard before his flagship systems failed was a human voice, calm and almost friendly. Nothing personal, Commander. It's just war.